Welcome to tea time. Welcome to tea time. Good morning. It's another beautiful Saturday, and I am so blessed to be here. So, welcome. I'm really feeling the energy of the morning, and I'm in a mood. My mood is Zen. I don't even know if that's like an actual mood title, but that's the zone I'm in. I'm in a Zen zone this morning. So, welcome to our conversation. Today, I really wanted to have an easy kind of conversation, largely because I've been feeling a pull for more calm and more ease. I have this feeling that there is so much noise going on around us. I mean, maybe I'm the only one feeling that, but it's just since the start of the year, it feels like it's been really, really active and just a lot of things going on. And then worse now with the presidential inauguration and all the different things that on the side of the world with North America, or maybe globally, just observing the new changes and just everybody talking about it, and social media is beyond a buzz. It's like every 5 seconds it's another conversation about a law that has changed, or somebody feeling, oh my gosh, it's so crazy, and the comments are just going, and the news outlets are just going. So it feels like there's a lot of that. And then I'm in Kingston, Jamaica right now. And can I just tell you that I don't know if everybody got a car for Christmas, but it's like the traffic. I mean, in the middle of the day, sometimes, I'm in a couple groups, and you'll see people like writing to apologize for getting somewhere because it's just so much noise and traffic on the road, and them stuck, and so I don't know. I don't know if it's just me, but I've just been feeling like a lot of that. And so this morning I thought, you know what? I was contemplating in the week, I was kind of contemplating, what do we talk about on tea time this morning? What is my tea? Like, what's going on with Stacey? Well, what's going on with Stacey is she's feeling like she needs to withdraw from the chaos. And I feel like I need to take with myself. In Jamaica, they have a saying that take with myself. There's a dance called take with myself. And the whole point is to take yourself away. Right? So for me, I've been feeling a lot like, boy, it's just too much things are going on, and would I love for just not have all of the things that affected me. And then the TikTok ban, and everybody was like lamenting over the TikTok ban. TikTokers were posting about the TikTok ban, and then every other platform, people talking about the TikTok. It's just like madness. And so, how do you keep your head straight when you have all of this noise going on? And for me, that's my tea. It's like by the time I got to Friday, I mean, I was in a meeting yesterday afternoon, and I was feeling good about the meeting. Like, I even did my whole setup, my manifestation, my meeting manifestation. I did some work the night before and visualized how, oh my gosh, this meeting is going to be amazing. It's going to go great. I'm reaching at the meeting, and when the people have start complaining, I was like, this is not the intention. The intention is to create solutions. The intention is to have conversation to guide us to a solution. And I think everybody was somehow, it's like, I need to make sure that I make them know I'm upset. Or have you ever been in those kind of situations where you're in a meeting and it's just like the whole purpose of the other persons in the meeting is to make sure that you know that them vex? Okay. Doesn't get you anywhere. But so by the time I reach Friday and I in that meeting I'm just like, no, take for myself, unplug, detach, remove. Right? Anyway, good morning. Welcome to Tea Time. Today we're talking about detaching from the madness, escaping the chaos, navigating the noise, because it's literally beer that's a go on in the world today. Beer that going on. And we need to really talk about how our energy manages when all of this is going on. And at the end of the day, guys, it's your mind. At the end of the day, it's how you're using your mind. It's how you're processing the things. It's how you're thinking about the things. And so I thought, let's talk about that. Let's narrow it down. Let's look at three different ways that we can escape the noise. And of course, I have my tea here this morning. I felt a little ceremonial because I was going to talk about getting rid of the noise. So I have my little tea tray. Yeah, so this is my tea tray. I have my teapot and my cup and my little packet of honey. I ran out of honey. So I decided I was going to just, sip and pour while I'm talking to you. And just help us to process all the things that are going on. Because if you're online on social media and you're scrolling through, then you are at the effect of everybody else's emotions and energy. And it will literally put you in a state of overwhelm if you don't watch yourself. And then what happens when you're in this state of overwhelm is that you just find that you're snapping at everybody, or that you are feeling down on the inside and you're not sure why, because things may be the same. Even if you don't think your life nice, it may be the same, or it may be all right. Things may be going pretty good, but then your insides just feel like you're on this downward spiral, like there are energy vampires out there sucking out your energy. So just for a few moments, have tea with me. If you don't drink tea, have coffee. Yeah, just for a few moments so that you can get back your center. That's what we're about here on Tea Time. So I thought about chaos. I started to observe as I was preparing for today's conversation. I started to observe just things that were going on. And there are two things that were most jarring for me in this last couple of weeks. One, the TikTok ban and people's response to it, and just the whole heap of agitation and noise about it. And the second thing was the response to Trump being put back in office, right? There was just a lot of noise. Oh, and three, the traffic in Kingston on the road. Let's just say those three things: TikTok ban, Trump back in office, traffic in Kingston. And it's like, when I look at just for the TikTok ban, I wasn't like worried because my TikTok is set to Jamaica, right? And it's funny because it was set to the US, because remember I was doing the whole Atlanta back and forth and whatever. And I literally changed it to Jamaica when I started posting regularly, like right around last September when I started to post to TikTok regularly. I changed my location to Jamaica. So when all of the TikTok ban things start going, I was like, oh, okay, wisdom prevails. It never really like bothered me. And yes, I understand that there are other content creators who make their living because they're on TikTok, and that's okay. Maybe, I don't know, but what was bothering me was just how much attention it was getting and how much conversation. I mean, I had friends over last week Saturday. I had like a little thing for the beginning of the year, and it was just so much conversation about this TikTok and about social media takeover. And I was like, my God, this thing is just like taking over our lives. I wasn't liking it. And then I had the thinking about, now we're talking about social media and we have social media pandemic. It occurs to me like that. But once upon a time, when you think back, guys, because I love period pieces, like movies, period pieces, historic pieces, anything that takes you back in time. And I was there thinking to myself, boy, we talk about the problems that we're having now. And, we get kind of stuck in the thinking and the feeling about those problems. And, we maybe sat at home scrolling on our lovely phones and just looking at the things on the phone, and we're there sat and we're worried about this stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, well, in the caveman days, they were just worried about surviving. Like, they were just worried about food. Am I going to get to kill a wild boar, or go catch a fish? Are we gonna die because the tribe is gonna go from one place to the next? And we're over here worried about TikTok. I thought about that. And then I kind of fast forward and I was like, well, okay. So back in that cavemanish days, it was survival, making sure you could eat. And then of course, you had dinosaurs, we're gonna fight the dinosaurs, and I had that whole thing. Which animals are gonna kill me? Like, And then you fast forward, and then you're thinking about Just the different things that were happening, slavery in different places, in Egypt, in Rome, you had all these different types of slaves, and or maybe even gladiator times when people are fight literally for them lives. And this is when now we have people warring over countries, and this is you don't have no passport and immigration authority. There's none of that. This is just right up to your town with my bag of people. I'm a shield, I'm a sword, I'm a thing. I'm gonna just chop you up and stab you up and take it. Like, that was the chaos. You'd be in your little village, like you're a farmer or whatever, you're in your little village, and then you just hear the horse, them a come. And it's like, oh my gosh, they're approaching, and you don't know what's gonna happen. And them come in and then just burn down everything, and them just, yeah, my land is now, they might keep the strong ones, and everybody is like trying to manage that. So then I'm thinking, whoa, I can't even imagine the kind of stress that people, but were they stressed? Were they like worried all the time about the people riding down? And did they have all the overwhelming anxiety, or were they just kind of like living in the moment and farming and milking them cows and things? Yes, I was wondering about that. And then I fast forward some more to when we got a little bit more civilized, and you actually had borders now. Because I'm watching the Empress. I just finished watching the Empress, and this is about the Emperor of Austria. And I didn't even know that Austria ruled over or had territorial ruling over Italy, or the provinces that became Italy. So when I'm looking at all of this now, and I'm seeing how, this particular emperor was fighting for that time, and I'm thinking to myself, you had the people in there that were just like stressed out. Some of them poor, them don't have no money, them look dirty all the time. You notice in the period pieces, all the people them always look dirty, except for the royalty. You notice that? I wonder if that's how they're gonna show us, like when you have the movies from the future. Anyway, all I'm saying, guys, is as I did this reflection, what I was realizing was that we've been here, and depending on the time that you were on Earth, there's always something going on. So the chaos of life is a constant. They talk, sometimes I will say to you that the only thing constant in life is change. Okay, I'm changing that. Chaos is also constant in different ways, and it occurs to you in a different way depending on what's going on in the world around you at different points in time, right? So you have the historical, like when you sit back and just take a check. If you like old time movie, go watch the old time movie. Them even westerns. You'd be in your little town, and then you have some little Indian riding or some bad cowboy riding, and then boom, 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 gun, and thing, and everything take over. Bank robbery, and you just see all the little humans running around all stressed out. Also, our lifespans were much shorter, because if it wasn't a shoot up, it was some kind of plague or disease, and that there was no cure for. So if chaos in life is constant, right, and the world is always going to have something happening, something, whether it's Trump or is Napoleon or is the plague or is Putin or is the dinosaurs or whatever, Pharaoh, Caesar, whatever is going to be going on, there's going to be some things happening in the world that can create what would feel like chaos in your life. And so what you have to get really good at is your ability to cultivate your inner peace, your center of self, your space where you are keeping your mind above the chaotic situations. And ultimately, guys, I know it's all mind. Like, I'm fully aware that it's all mind, because when it's not massive chaos like presidential changes and government and big things, when it's not wars and rumors of wars and all them things. Everywhere is war. Bob Marley was like so great. War, yeah. When it's not like those major things happening, you might have smaller things happening that creating chaos in your life. I call it personal pandemic. So if it's not the major things happening, it may be the smaller things happening. Maybe you have drama in your family, you have drama with your lover, you have drama with your kids, drama with your parents, drama with the people in my work, toxic this, toxic that. There's always going to be something. So whether it's a external thing to your life where you don't feel personally attached, but it's in your space and you find yourself commenting about it, or it's actually something that is directly related to you, the one thing that you have that you can manage is your response to all of that. And that's why we have tea. That's why we have tea, because at this moment in time, you may decide that my response to all of the madness that is going on right now is I'm going to sip some tea for 30 minutes and just get my head right. And that's that's what I'm talking about. You have to find moments for you, right? Because in order for you to ascend to greatness and to do so without extraordinary stress and pain, and to create success without the stress, and to have joy in the journey, you really have to first and foremost get conscious about yourself. You have to get conscious. I don't think there is any mystery in that. You have to understand yourself. You have to get in touch with yourself. You have to become aware that you are not the person that is in the chaos and the madness. Like, you are literally the person that can observe all of the things that are going on. And the only way that you can get to do that is by becoming aware of yourself, by becoming more conscious about yourself. Because half of the time, we just get caught up in all of the excitement and we lose ourselves in the excitement. And sometimes it's not even your excitement. You ever notice that? Where you're just moving along and then one of your friends them have drama, and by the time you finish have dinner or a drink or even a cup of tea with them, you feel like it's your drama and you're just stressed out and your blood pressure high because you're just talking about all of their drama, and suddenly it becomes yours, because as human beings, we're connected like that. So you have to be mindful, because if you're not mindful, then you just get caught up. So let's pause for a moment of tea. This morning, I am having Bigelow's chamomile mint. I'm really crushing on the Bigelow tea right now. It says on the little thing, take a moment just for you, right? So this is our moment just for us. I don't know what you're drinking, if you're drinking coffee or if you're drinking tea also, whatever you're drinking, I hope you're enjoying it, or hot chocolate, right? So what I like to do sometimes is like how I have my Bigelow tea in my beautiful teapot. I've had this teapot for over 10 years, guys. I don't use it every day, just sometimes when I feel like, I want a little bit of extra niceness. And I usually put like 2 or 3 tea bags, and I'll fill it up about 3/4 way. And then I let it steep, and then I pour, and it's just like, yeah, you can see all of that tea goodness. Excitement. And of course, because I drink tea so much, I'm out of honey. So I've been using these little packets. When I was in London the other day, the hotel that we stayed at had these little, very cute packets, Bon Mommy. And I took a whole bunch of them home. And you can just open it, and it has really nice honey in there, and then you just squeeze it into your teacup. And there you go, you have your tea. Because I try not to use too much sugar and stuff like that. So yeah. So mix up your tea. I have just a couple more things to talk about, but I want to make sure that you understand that, guys, this is a moment for you. This is what we're doing. We're not trying to rush and make sure so we just hurry up and talk. No, we need to be just taking it easy. Have some time with yourself. Yeah. All right. So when I talk to you about consciousness, it was, I would say, the first time I understood like getting aware of myself was back in 2006. My grandmother was actually sick, and I was going through something. My head did just leak, because it's my grandmother I love, like the one who raised me when I was a little girl. And I was in Atlanta, I wasn't even in Jamaica, and I was like, she wasn't well. And I got the news when I was on my way to work. I'm just stressed out. Anyway, at the time I was reading Eckhart Tolle's A New Earth, because I was a heavy Oprah watcher. And that's what Oprah Book Club was reading. And so I'm reading A New Earth now by Eckhart Tolle. And he was talking about when he sat on a bench and he heard his mind talk to him, and he realized that he wasn't his mind. No, when I read that, I was like, I am not my mind. What are you talking about? Like, this just sound like some woo woo. This sound woo woo. What you mean you're not your mind? Like, what? But the way he explained it, I was like, oh, maybe I should start to pay attention and see. Am I my mind? Right? Anyway, long and short of it, what I started to do was I started to pay attention to how I was thinking about stuff. Right? Hi, Kimoy. Good morning. I see you over there on YouTube. And I thought to myself, okay, if I am not my mind, then what is that? I was like, well, okay, let's not go down that road because I don't want to get into asking too much question and trying to manage it. But at the end of the day, what I started to learn was that you are not your thoughts. You are the observer of your thoughts. And if you pay attention to yourself long enough, you will actually see your thoughts happening. So, for example, I will jump on social media to try to post something. Like, I haven't even been able to post to Instagram all week, guys, because every time I go on Instagram, I see somebody else that cuss about Trump. I don't follow any politicians really now. I think I have like 3 or 4. I go and unfollow them because all week it's been Trump, right? But every time I jump on, everybody, Essence, Ebony, everybody is talking about Trump. And so it's like, I take up the phone, I'm gonna just put it back down. And what I started to do was I realized the thoughts that were coming up. I didn't have the thoughts before I went on there. I was just fine. So why is it that when I got on there now, these new thoughts start to come up that are making me feel uneasy and stressed out and just overwhelmed? And so I observed the thoughts I was having. You can observe what you are thinking. And therefore, if the thinking is happening with the mind, then clearly there is somebody observing the thinking. Another way you can look at it, you know how sometimes you'll be sat out with your friends and then talking, going. And you will be absent from the conversation because your thoughts have taken you somewhere else. You're still sat there now, but your thoughts have now moved you on to something else. And they will say, Stacey, you listening to me? Hey. And then it's like, oh, yeah. And then you will realize that you were thinking about something else. So the you that is realizing that you were thinking about something else cannot be the same. It's not the same thing. There's a you and then there's your thoughts. And when I started to get that real clear, then I realized, oh, so that means that me can manage how me deal with the thoughts. It's simply no, guys, but it's not easy. I'll tell you. But when you can start off, all you have to start off by doing is just identifying that you are the observer. You are not you are not the thoughts. You are not the thoughts. You're not the things that the thoughts tell you you are. You just want to start observing them. Observe how your mind tells you that you don't have any sense. Observe how your mind tells you that you can't do this or you can't do that. Observe how your mind tells you, said this person have bad intentions for you. Observe it. Just start, little at a time. You do it today. Observe what your mind is telling you about me right now. Yeah? Okay. And what you can do is when you think about how do I observe, it's like how we take time for tea. It's just about pausing for a moment, not just rushing along with your day. We always have somewhere we're going and something we're doing. Just take a minute, let go the agenda, and just take a minute to observe yourself. Do some breathing exercises. On my YouTube channel, I have just finished wrapping up a 21-day challenge. Tomorrow is actually the last day of the challenge, but I literally have 21 different videos that help you to get more connected with your awareness. So check it out. Now, first thing was consciousness. Just start to be more aware of yourself, because when you're more aware of yourself, then you can manage the way that you're thinking about everything that's happening around you. I realized that I could not manage the way that my thoughts were doing this whole thing when I went onto social media. So I just haven't been on. I just haven't been going on to Instagram. And if you follow me on TikTok, you'll notice I haven't been posting my usual daily things, because even scheduling, because even if I schedule, people message me, I can't cross it right now. So I decide, say, since the mind is too manic, I just going to step away. That's another way that you can step into more conscious space for yourself. When your mind is taking you down paths that make you feel overwhelmed, just take a step back. Put down the phone. Don't go on your feed. It's okay. Don't let your mind tell you that you're missing out on something that could change your life. No, you can change your life, right? So get more aware. That's the first thing. The second thing now is nature. So this is a new one that I'll be talking about, I think, a lot this year. I think we take for granted that we have an opportunity to interact with nature, and it doesn't matter where you live. I've lived in places where it gets to -40 and there's tons of snow and ice on the road. And, I've lived on an island, right? I've lived in cities, tall buildings, bare traffic downstairs. No matter where you live, there's an opportunity for you to connect to nature. And there's something that is healing about going on a walk or sitting outside or sitting by a window, even if you can't. Let's say it's freezing and you can't go outside. But instead of just being sat in front of Netflix or any other streaming platform, you take a moment and you sit by a window where you can see outside, and you look at the clouds, you look at the bird flying by, you look at the snow if you're in a cold place. You just look at how nature is behaving despite all of the chaos in your life. We're constantly moving, guys. We've gotten into in this state of life now where we're always on our phone, in front of the TV, playing some kind of video game. Maybe I play the game on your phone. You're just constantly on and connected to everything, that you forget that you live on a living thing. Earth is a living thing. It's not a piece of rock. It is living. It is blooming. It has seasons. And you get to take any amount of time you want in your day. It could just be 2 seconds, 2 minutes, to just observe nature. Just sit down, look on a tree. Sometimes I'm so surprised now at how much I've missed by just observing what's outside my window. People that live in Jamaica, a lot of Jamaicans watch this show and a lot of Jamaicans subscribe to my channels. You don't have to go very far. Even when you live in the ghetto, you have a tree somewhere. You have an almond tree, you have an ackee tree, you have a lime tree, cherry tree. Something is somewhere. You must have birds. You will hear a bird, something. Nature provides daily gifts. You don't have to wait for somebody to come and give you a small change or somebody to give you anything grand, serve you anything. Nature by itself provides you with a gift and with energy to ground you, to bring you back to this now moment, to bring you back to present, to make you realize that you are not caught up in all of the drama. You don't have to be. You could be sat listening to gunshots outside of your door, outside of your window. You hear the man them run on the street, and you could decide that you are in that moment going to escape, looking through the window at the moonlight or the stars or listening to the crickets. You could decide. And I mean, you may take it for granted. Maybe they're like, but Stacey, you don't look like you understand that. Oh, let me tell you, I've lived some places. I have lived places where I can hear the gunman them running outside. Yeah. In my house, I'm afraid. I cry to my mother. Yeah. Been there. So when I come here and I'm talking to y'all about peace of mind and stuff, it's because I know. It's not because I'm sat here in my pretty chair, in my pretty teapot, and I can't relate. I can't relate. Right? So nature gives us gifts every day. And there are simple ways. Today, this morning, before I did tea time, I literally went for a walk. I've been dying to go walking and I keep waiting to have the perfect conditions to walk. Like maybe I need to drive to go up to Mountain Spring to walk there because it's nice. Maybe I need to drive to go meet up with a group because I don't want to walk by myself. Oh my gosh, I don't want to walk because it's dark outside. This morning I got up and it's like outside was calling me to come outside and walk. And I put on my clothes and everything, get ready, come downstairs. Guess what? It's raining. Can you believe that? And you know what I said to myself? Find an umbrella. And that's exactly what I did. And I walked outside for 30 minutes with my umbrella. I have pictures for sure, for proof. But my point is, I was just, because I've been in this thing all week with the TikTok ban and the noise and the Trump and the chaos and all of the different things that you see people have worked for, and then you just hit a disappear and you're like, oh my God, is the world going to crumble? No, even if the world crumbles, you don't have to. Find something in nature that can help help you manage your mind. There's always going to be chaos going on around you, some way, shape, or form. It's up to you. You have to decide. So I'm going to keep my peace of mind. I'm not into the drama and the excitement. And so I decided this morning that after the week I've had with the crazy people, them both online and in my meetings, I tell me about the things with them vex about. I want some sanity for myself. I want some peace. I want to let go of all of everybody else's overwhelm and anxiety, because at the end of the day, everything always works out. And if we recognize it and lean into that more, if we're more conscious human beings, we wouldn't be coming on trying to fight people. When you come into a meeting and sometimes you wonder if them coming with them boxing gloves. You go work and it's just like beer cussing and fighting and you're like, what's going on here? Backbiting and gossip and you're like, You don't have to choose to take on the energy and to carry it with you on the road, into your house, with your kids, with your lover. Leave that behind. Walk in nature. Take a walk. Sit down outside on the curb and just observe. Just be with yourself for 5 minutes. And the last thing that I want to share. This one is good. When you find yourself in this state of chaos, you have to be really intentional about making every moment meaningful, about making every moment an opportunity that you take for yourself in silence, without anybody else. Just find some time for yourself where you're just doing things with yourself, right? Everything, if you're not doing it in silence, can be meaningful also. Just like this, me sitting here, guys, with you and pouring my tea, it's very therapeutic for me. I'm not thinking about anything else that's going on in my life right now. All I'm thinking about is the tea we're having. That's all. That's all I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about this lovely conversation and the fact that I'm really grateful that I have this honey packet since my honey finished, and how much I love this Bigelow thing. That's all. This is a meaningful moment for me. So all of 2025, I've made up my mind that I'm going to be posting about meaningful moments. Everything can be a meaningful moment if you just take the time and slow down a little bit and appreciate the moment for what it is. Appreciate every little moment. We're drinking tea and we're putting our clothes same time we're drinking the tea. I know, because sometimes I'll carry my breakfast in the bathroom and I put on my makeup. It's a shame. Right? Last night, I was tired. I think I was just drained because I had whole heap of work. All week I had a whole heap of work. And I decided that I had said to my daughter that I was going to make her a shepherd's pie, because we love shepherd's pie. She and I will love shepherd's pie. And we had talked about it in the weekend, and I was like, okay, You know, we're going to get it, plot it out or whatever. And then Thursday night, I was watching Beat Bobby Flay. And on Beat Bobby Flay, they make shepherd's pie as one of the competition. And I was like, yes, it's a sign. I must make the shepherd's pie. You see, by the time I finish my Friday work, you know them ways there? When Friday come and you just can't wait, people done, you not even want to drink with nobody. I was literally so popped down. I lay down in the bed and I was like, there's no way me I make no shepherd's pie. That time the ground beef sit down in the sink, I thaw out, ready. I said, now make no shepherd's pie. Well, something within me was like, but it would feel so good if we just made it like a meaningful moment. If we just kind of use it for just meditate about all things nice. If we just use it for and just, connect to the scent of the food when you're cooking it. If you just look forward to what it's going to be like when you're eating it, and we start feeling nice. So we start thinking about that, right? That's a great way to use the mind. We start thinking about that. So I say, I'm not go up on social media and not watching no Netflix. I'm going to go downstairs and I'm going to make a shepherd's pie all by myself. I was alone at home. And my mother was messaging me. So I said, you know what? I'm going to call my mommy and I'm going to cook while I'm on the phone with my mommy. And I mean, it was just the most beautiful experience. It became a meaningful moment. And I was just talking to my mommy and we were talking about things and I was telling her what I'm doing while we're talking about all the things and we're going, we're planning my grandmother's birthday and we're doing all that. And we're just talking. And it felt so, it's like the tiredness just melted away. And so when I finished, and I put my thing in the oven, I was so excited. I just feel, it's like my whole insides just lifted up. We need to start taking everyday moments, everyday things that we would normally do, like cooking a meal, and start to make them more meaningful moments. Start to find the joy in the simple things again. It's not hard to do, guys. It's not hard to do. You don't have to have a whole heap of money. You don't have to have a whole heap of stuff. You just have to be intentional about it and create these moments. And if you follow me on TikTok, as a matter of fact, I have to start using the community tab on YouTube. I don't figure that out yet. But if you follow me on TikTok, I'm actually going to post my shepherd's pie. I'm going to post my shepherd's pie so you can see what I made, right? But at the end of the day, all I'm saying, guys, is that you want to look for opportunities to find your joy. All you need is a moment. You don't have to be trying this thing where you have to be happy all the time and positive all the time. That's not what we're after. We're just interested in being closer to ourselves so that we can find a little bit more happiness, regardless of whether you're living in a concrete jungle, the ghetto, or are you living in a palace, or you live in a really nice upscale home or penthouse, whatever. No matter where people are, them have misery in their life. And what we are seeking ultimately is joy and freedom. And you don't have to wait to get to that next big thing to have it. So to recap, key practices to help you to find calm in the chaos is, first of all, becoming aware of yourself, recognizing that you are not your thoughts, you're the observer of your thoughts. Once you can separate yourself like that, you can decide, say, you don't want to think about those things. You don't want to spend your time in places that are going to cause your mind to go through stress. The second thing is that you want to spend some time with nature. Start off slow, guys. Start off with just little things that bring you joy. And then the third thing is make every moment meaningful. As many as you can. If it's just a cup of tea you're sipping, don't bother doing nothing else. Just sip your tea or your coffee. If you're eating something, you're eating a bully beef sandwich, you're eating a bologna and cheese sandwich. Maybe you just eat the cheese because you're not having the bologna. I don't know. Whatever it is, just savor the moment. All right? So thank you so much for joining, guys. I am just so thrilled that all of you have stayed on this long. Have a wonderful Saturday. Subscribe to my YouTube. Follow me on TikTok. Check things out. I will be back in the next 2 weeks. You know why? Because I'm taking 2 weeks off to be in silence. Okay? So more updates to come on that. I'll make sure that there's a video that goes live, but I will definitely be taking some time to myself to be in silence and then coming back for live in 2 weeks from then. All right. So take care, guys. See you soon and stay tuned to my channels for more updates. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye, Kamoy.